Blue Jays and Braves both come to the Quest Center with something to prove. Bradley is looking to snap their longest losing streak in 7 years in a venue where they've never won a game. And Creighton, after having lost their last 2 games at the Quest, is looking to turn their luck around and give their 15,000 fans the win they've been looking for. Both teams are looking for redemption, but which team will find it here tonight? We'll find out. It's the Braves and the Jays next on NET Sports. From the Quest Center in Omaha, Nebraska, NET Sports, Nebraska's home for sports, presents NCAA men's basketball. Tonight in the Missouri Valley Conference, 2 teams look to turn their luck around. It may be cold outside, but Bradley and Creighton are hoping that the shooting will be hot tonight in the Quest Center. Hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Kugler. Welcome to Quest Center Omaha for a big game in the Missouri Valley Conference, at least for these 2 teams who come in struggling to different degrees. The Creighton Blue Jays have lost 2 in a row, but they're still in the thick of the things in the Missouri Valley Conference. Meanwhile, for Bradley, it's almost a lost season. 6-12, 0-7 already in the conference, an injury-riddled year for head coach Jim Les, and a very disappointing season for the Bradley Braves. Joining me, as always, former Creighton standout Nick Bond. Nick, when you look at this matchup tonight, you wonder what the Jays are going to do. Well, the Jays are going to make a lineup change.
Yeah, already a coaching adjustment. We haven't even tipped off, Kevin. The Jays are going to switch things up. They usually go big and start Doug McDermott, Gregory Echenike, and Kenny Lawson. But Bradley plays small. They basically play 4 guards. So Creighton's going to make a change. Out Kenny Lawson, in Josh Jones to match up with Bradley's speed and quickness.
An over 90 straight start streak snap for Kenny Lawson tonight. Bradley doesn't care about that. They're just looking for a win. If they get it, it'll come from a big effort from Andrew Warren.
No doubt about it. This guy is asked to do everything, and he does everything. Valley's leading scorer at 19 points per game, leads the Valley in free throws made, 3-pointers made, and minutes played. This guy is a tremendous scorer. He has to play well for Bradley.
A lot of teams don't lean on youngsters. Creighton's not one of those. Doug McDermott, a guy they lean on all night long.
All year long, Kevin, I've been saying, this guy's pretty good for a freshman. No. This guy's good, period. Averaging 14 points per game and 8 rebounds per game in Valley play. Shoots better than 50% from the field. He just seems to get better and better at each game that goes by. So Doug McDermott's going to have to play well.
The Bradley Braves and the Creighton Blue Jays from Quest Center, Omaha, coming up next on NET Sports. From Quest Center, Omaha, Kevin Kugler alongside Nick Baugh, head of the Bradley Braves and the Creighton Blue Jays in this Missouri Valley Conference tilt. It's been a lopsided series of late, but the overall series has been narrowed as a result. 41-40, the Jays lead the series. Creighton 24-13 in Omaha, but the Braves haven't won here since January of 1998, a 61-58 ball game that the Braves won in Omaha long time ago, and they've never won at the Quest Center. Let's take a look at the lineups, the starting lineups tonight for these two squads. The Bradley Braves will have Warren and Sims Edwards in the backcourt. Dodie Dunson back there with them. Will Egolf and Jordan Prosser up front. Egolf, a guy to keep an eye on if he can stay in the game. He has fouled out a lot, 8 foul outs, more than any other team total. And he's had 8 individuals this year. If they keep him on the floor, it gives him a nice inside-outside game with Andrew Warren.
Find it interesting, they started Jake Eastman last game, and now they start Prosser and Egolf. So Bradley sizes up, Creighton sizes down.
And you see Josh Jones in the lineup, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, along with Antoine Young, Caleb Korver, Doug McDermott, and Gregory Echenike. Jones in, Lawson out, 92 straight start streak snapped for Kenny Lawson, the senior out of Oceanside. Last time he didn't start, he stepped aside for Nick Baugh in 2008, so Nick could celebrate senior night in the starting lineup.
A quick side note, Kenny Lawson was 7 for 7 from the field in the game he didn't start on senior night against Bradley and had 14 points. Hoping for the same type of results if you're Greg McDermott.
Dana Altman subbed you out 45 seconds in to get Kenny Lawson onto that floor. And those are your starters for both the Bradley Braves and the Creighton Blue Jays, announcing those starting lineups here to the fans at Quest Center, Omaha, where the Jays are 9-3 this season, but 1-2 in Missouri Valley Conference play at home. Bradley, though, doesn't care about any of those numbers as far as wins, losses, or anything else, Nick. They're just trying to find some way to win a game. It has been a real rough go since they lost Sam Maniscalco and Taylor Brown, two guys that were going to be big parts of their lineup. Lose Taylor Brown to a cardiac problem. Sam Maniscalco out after 6 games this season. He's done for the year and still on crutches. A very big couple of losses for the Bradley Braves. Greg McDermott, in his first year as the head coach of the Jays, talked with us earlier about why he's making this change in his starting lineup.
Oh, we could see something different, and part of it is what Bradley, the challenges that Bradley presents. They really start essentially 4 guards at times. So if Jake Eastman starts again, and it makes it difficult for us to play our big lineup as much as we've played it to start games in the past. And you know, if we make a change in lineup, it'll be to give us some energy. And I think there's a couple guys that we've been bringing off the bench that have the potential just to bring us a little fire to start the game and to start the half. And those are 2 areas of the game where we haven't functioned at quite as high a level as we have in some of the other parts of the game. So as a coaching staff, we definitely have to address that.
Let's talk keys to this game, Nick Baugh. What do you see for the Jays?
Well, first for Creighton, perimeter defense. Obviously a small, quick team. Going to a lot of pick and rolls, a lot of dribble, drive, and weave. Got to guard the ball. Key number 2, rebound. Big emphasis. Creighton gave up 20 offensive rebounds against Indiana State. Look for the Jays to really put bodies on guys. And number 3, make Warren work. He's going to make tough shots, but you got to make him at least work for all his baskets. And for the Bradley Braves, they got to limit second chance points. Small team, again, with Doug McDermott, Gregory Echenike, Kenny Lawson. They got to defend the paint, and they got to get some confidence. You talked about it, 0-7 in Valley play. They got to get some things going.
Now they get the tip, perhaps a good start for them as Sims Edwards, Dyricus Sims Edwards, driving it in against Josh Jones. Turnaround jumper is good for Sims Edwards, who averages 7.5 points a game, their second leading scorer in Valley play. And he's been red hot in Valley Conferences, or Valley Conference games, almost 11 points a game.
But he also can go ice cold. He's one of those streaky guys, so that's a great sign for Jim Les to get Dyricus Sims Edwards a basket early.
Antoine Young playing an awful lot. Struggled over the past 4 games before Sunday. Played very well on Sunday in the loss to Indiana State. Josh Jones gives it off to McDermott. And McDermott, a little runner, no good. Rebound to Bradley, and Dunson will walk it up for the Braves.
Sometimes you can outthink yourself. I mean, obviously Greg McDermott makes the change and takes Kenny Lawson out of the starting lineup to match up with Bradley. And as I said before, Bradley sizes up to match up with Creighton.
Shot by Warren, no good, and the rebound for the Jays. Young pushing it up the floor. Korver, who's become really a solid player for Creighton this year. Now to Jones. Josh Jones getting the start. There's Echenike. Double team comes from the 2 big guys. He doesn't care, splits it, and he'll go to the line for a pair of free throws.
Gregory Echenike, Rutgers transfer, became eligible for the second semester and has really helped this basketball team. And that's where he struggled a little bit, is handling double teams, and you see him do a nice job of staying patient and splitting the double team and drawing a foul.
Gregory Echenike, 68% free throw shooter, hits the first to get the Jays on the board. You got a good look at Jim Les, the dean of the Missouri Valley Conference coaches in his 9th season, but he's not had one like this for a while. This one is ugly, and it's hard really, as Echenike hits the second free throw, to blame Jim Les too much when you lose guys like Maniscalco and Brown, two guys that you counted on this year to be huge scorers. It's hard to adjust. You can't pick up guys off the waiver wire.
Not too many teams can survive losing their two best players, arguably. So certainly a tough situation for Jim Les, as Egolf knocks down a jump shot. He can make that shot. He's got range out to about 18 feet. Creighton's going to have to make sure they get out there and at least break his rhythm and make him feel uncomfortable.
Braves with a 4-2 lead. McDermott rotates around to Jones. Jones forced back out to Corver. Corver looking inside. Now Jones comes free. The three on the right wing is off, no good. Rebound tipped into the corner, and it's saved for Bradley, and Andrew Warren will bring it up, the leading scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference. Egolf to Sims Edwards. Now Egolf, long two. He likes that shot. This one off the mark. Offensive rebound, though, inside for Prosser, and that's no good. A little strong. Two chances, no points, and now the Jays hustle it down the floor. Corver left all alone. Cannot connect. The rebound underneath by McDermott, and he has it taken away by Sims Edwards.
Can't bring it low where guards can get it off of a rebound.
Sims Edwards lost it out of bounds. Good defense by the Jays in transition, and it'll go back the other way to the Blue Jays.
Well, I was talking about Bradley's got to limit second chance points. Obviously, they'll go small and play four guards. Got to rebound the basketball. Key number two, got to defend the paint. Everything Creighton does goes through the paint. And then key number three, get some confidence. This team obviously lost all 7 games so far in Valley play. Got to get something going and feel good about yourself, especially on the road.
There's Corver again. Jays down a pair very early on as Echenike driving against Prosser. And Echenike with all 4 points tonight for the Jays. He looks to have a big night against Prosser.
Yeah, that's a matchup problem for Bradley, and they need to go right there if you're Greg McDermott, time and time again, and play through Gregory Echenike. He's a big guy, but he can move, as you can see him going right around Prosser.
Here's Egolf inside against the youngster. McDermott cannot connect, and now a foul coming from behind, and that's what Will Egolf does more than anybody else in the Missouri Valley Conference. He fouls. That's his 72nd foul of the year. He has fouled out 8 times already, and in 4 of their 7 Valley games, he's been benched with fouls.
For a team that's been decimated with injuries, depth becomes an issue, and you can't afford to have silly fouls like that. Miss a shot, just get frustrated with yourself, go right over the back of Doug McDermott. Now you got to take a seat, and this is the issue. Now they bring in Jake Eastman, number 4, who's going to have the duties of guarding Doug McDermott. McDermott is going to have a field day with him on the block.
This is where Bradley's depth becomes a huge issue, and that's been a real problem with Egolf all year long. He's in foul trouble. They don't have anybody to sub. Corver inside to Echenike. Rotates around to Jones, and Jones the pull-up from the elbow. But a strong Warren with the rebound for Bradley.
It'll be interesting to see how Josh Jones approaches this starting lineup change here. He's an aggressive guy by nature, trying to get some confidence. He hasn't played well. Keep your eye on number 5 for Creighton.
Sims Edwards 3, rebounded by Corver. Antoine Young. Lobs down low. There's McDermott. Just as you said it, Nick, he got behind Eastman. The high lob into the post and an easy finish.
Eastman flat out cannot handle Doug McDermott in the paint. Kyle Weems on Sunday from Missouri State was 12 of 14 from the floor, and a lot of those baskets came against Eastman.
Jays with a 2-point lead. Sims Edwards now inside looking for Prosser against Echenike. Turns to the basket a little bit short, no good, and then a foul coming over the back on Jordan Prosser. 1 on Egolf, 1 on Prosser, and a timeout on the floor as Creighton takes the 6-4 lead into our first break at Quest Center Omaha. Back with more on NET Sports. Kevin Kugler, Nick Bach, Quest Center, Omaha, 6-4. The Creighton Blue Jays leading the Bradley Braves just underway here at Quest Center, Omaha. And the Valley standings as we come into play for this week. A big showdown tonight between Missouri State and Indiana State at the top. And this conference is really breaking up, Nick, into real divided sections. You've got the top 3 teams, and you've got that hunk of 4 in the middle, and then the bottom 3, Drake, Illinois State, and Bradley, really struggling.
Yeah, the biggest surprise, the Sycamores right at 6-1. They got a big game tonight against Missouri State. They've been the surprise, but there's a definite gap between Missouri State, Wichita State, and the rest of the league.
Bradley starting off just 2 for 8 shooting from the floor tonight. Prosser 0 for 2. Egolf 1 for 3. A team that in the Valley games has been shooting over 42% from the floor, but they've not been able to find that easy shot so far, and the Jays have controlled the rebounding battle at this point with a 6-4 advantage on the glass.
Jim Less's teams traditionally like to play fast, maximize possessions, get a lot of three-point jump shots attempted on the goal. And although they do that at times, it's difficult because of the depth. And really, outside of Andrew Warren, there isn't anybody else that can consistently score right now.
Daryl Ashford on the floor for the Blue Jays. Anthony Thompson, a 6'10 junior. Walt Lemon, a 6'3 freshman on the floor for Bradley. There's Corver around to Ashford. Ashford, the senior out of Houston. Jays by 2 as McDermott looks inside. Echenike again has it taken away this time. Good work from behind by Dunson. Here comes Eastman. Eastman in the corner to Lemon, and we've got a whistle and a foul. Block is going to be called on Corver. After he got rid of the ball, Eastman barreled into Caleb Corver, and Corver will pick up his first.
There's a lot of different ways you can defend the paint. And one way is to come from behind with a double team where you can't see it. And that created some offense as Eastman drives in and kicks it out, and Corver wasn't quite set in time.
Dunson the lob in to Lemon. Walt Lemon Jr. averaging on the year just over 7 points a game. He's had some good games against good teams this year.
Look out for him. He's really, really explosive. Jim Les has said he's arguably the most explosive athlete he has in his program.
There's Warren, the shot no good, but a foul on the jump shot from the elbow on Corver, and that's number 2 on Caleb Corver, and that's going to put a very valuable offensive player on the bench early for Greg McDermott.
Well, and a valuable defensive player in his own right. He's done a nice job all season long and taking the duties of guarding the other team's best scorer and just chasing him off screens. And that's just a silly foul, but that's the craftiness of Andrew Warren, raising up, kind of creating that contact so he can go to the line.
Hits the first free throw. In comes Kenny Lawson substituting in, and Jahens Manigat, the freshman from Ontario, in as well for the Blue Jays.
Obviously, Kenny Lawson, the big story, the preseason Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. Starts on the bench tonight, and all you need to know is in Valley play, he's struggled. He's only attempted 9 free throws through 7 games, and he's attempted 46 free throws through the first 12 games. That just is a great barometer of his aggressiveness. So look for Kenny Lawson to have a newfound energy and really try and get some things done, because he has to play well for the Blue Jays.
No rebounds in 19 minutes on Sunday as well, as McDermott's 3 is short. The rebound to Walt Lemon Jr. And Bradley with a chance to take the lead with a bucket here. Tied at 6 as Dunson finds Lemon. Lemon driving to the basket, off the glass a little strong. McDermott another rebound. Off to a good start on the glass, Doug McDermott. Here comes Manigat exploding to the basket. The shot no good. Lawson's tip up and in. There's a rebound and 2 for Kenny Lawson.
Every time Kenny Lawson has had a good game, Greg McDermott has delivered the same message. Just worry about running the floor and rebounding the basketball. Points will take care of itself. Don't go in trying to score 20 points, because that's when things won't go well for him.
Dunson to Walt Lemon Jr. Eastman. Eastman driving past McDermott all the way to the basket, and it rattles home. Lawson was waiting for him, but he muscled it up to tie the game. Quickly down the floor, Manigat shot up and good, and the Jays regain the lead with an explosion to the other end from the freshman Manigat.
That's one heck of a catch from the freshman. I call him the Canadian Red Bull from Ontario. Plays with a ton of energy.
Dunson left alone, cannot connect on the 3, and the rebound knocked out of bounds off of Creighton. It'll stay with Bradley. Watch Manigat again getting out in front, Nick.
Look at that one-hand catch, and then to have the balance to get the ball up softly on the backboard. That is very difficult to be sprinting full speed, catch, and finish.
He's a guy who's been asked to play at a point spot that's not necessarily what his strength is at times. You see his strength, it's the explosiveness and the ability to be a scorer, which Coach McDermott and the staff believe will develop as this goes along in his career.
And Greg McDermott was concerned about having to ask him to play some point guard position, because sometimes that can take away from your aggressiveness. You don't know if you'll ever get it back.
There's Warren off the screen, gets the jumper to fall for 2 to tie the game at 10 with 13-10 remaining in this first half.
He does an outstanding job moving without the basketball and reading screens to free himself up for jump shots. There's a reason he's averaging 19 points per game.
Manigat to Wayne Runnels, just off the Creighton bench. Runnels against Eastman, back out to Manigat, now Young. 14 on the shot clock for the Jays. Lawson with 8 to shoot. Lawson will put it on the floor. Into some trouble, and he traveled with it. Kenny Lawson forced to go with 7 to shoot. Ran into some traffic and gave it back to Bradley.
Well, there's poor floor spacing on that possession as you have a high-low set with Lawson and Runnels kind of got the ball at that extended post and faced up. And now all of a sudden you have a situation where you have 5 guys on the perimeter, makes driving angles difficult, and that's what led to Lawson's eventual traffic.
Walt Lemon Jr. back to Dyricus Sims-Edwards.
He's going to run Warren off screens here on the baseline. He'll post up a little bit.
Warren, tough shot. That one a little off the mark, and a rebound by Anthony Thompson, but a foul to get to that board on the junior out of Houston, Anthony Thompson. Back in comes Will Egolf. You see how Jim Les has to massage Egolf. He gets that first foul and immediately is plucked from the ball game just to try to keep him in there. He's an effective scorer, but they can't keep him on the floor.
Yeah, I like Egolf's game. He's skilled, again, can step out and knock down some jump shots. He has to be on the floor. He can't get silly fouls. Those aren't winning plays.
Manigat looking to drive, nothing there. Pass by Young, tipped right back to it. Lawson, double on the left block, goes right by it. The shot no good, rebound though to Runnels. Out to Young, Antoine Young for 3. Off no good, rebound kicked out, and it'll go out of bounds to the Braves. Off of Wayne Runnels, who disagrees with the call, but it will stay with Bradley, and a timeout on the floor. 11:50 remaining in the first half at Quest Center, Omaha. Jays and Braves tied at 10. Kevin Kugler, Nick Bob from Quest Center, Omaha. Bradley and Creighton knotted up at 10, 11:50 remaining in this first half here at Quest Center. And Bradley has missed all year long Taylor Brown and that man, Sam Maniscalco. Maniscalco, when they had him in the lineup, this team beat USC. Not a bad win. USC, not a bad team out of the Pac-10, but Sam Maniscalco now with the cast and the crutches, and we talked with Jim Les about these guys who have been taken out of this Bradley lineup.
What we've run into a little bit of a problem with is our margin of error is just so short. So, you know, we can't have a guy get in foul trouble. We can't have a guy have an off night. We need everybody on every night playing at a high level. And we're asking some of our young guys to step into some situations that, you know, it's a little baptism by fire. But, you know, as all the other coaches that are trying to, you know, keep me motivated and keep me on the right thoughts, talks about, you know, hey, how good our team's going to be when you get those guys back, plus all these young guys getting the experience. But, you know, with that, we need a result.
I'm sure very few tears are being shed around the valley for Bradley losing these two guys, Taylor Brown and Sam Maniscalco. But when you take 26.6 points out of your lineup right at the beginning of the season, that's a hard thing to overcome.
And you take your floor general and Sam Maniscalco off the floor. That makes things really difficult for you.
Here's Warren driving to the basket. His shot no good. Rebound tipped around by Egolf, but scooped up by Antoine Young. Young trying to push it a little bit for the Jays. In the corner, Josh Jones for three, and he hits the first three of the night for either team, and the Jays have a 13-10 lead.
Was 3 for 23 from downtown on the season. Make it 4 for 24. Good shooter, streaky shooter, just hasn't gotten it going this year.
Andrew Warren into the corner. Walt Lemon Jr. trying to answer. He cannot. Rebound, though, by Jake Eastman. Eastman got Runnels in the air and is fouled. He'll go to the line for two. You've got a guy at 6'5" in there in Eastman getting the weak side rebound amidst three Jays. That's not going to make Greg McDermott very happy as he brings Gregory Echenike back off the Creighton bench.
There's going to be a zero tolerance policy for offensive rebounding tonight for Bradley, because Greg McDermott saw his ball club drop a game for that very reason. Again, 20 offensive rebounds on Sunday afternoon at Terre Haute, including the game-winning tip-in from a 6'6" player right at the buzzer off of an air ball from Jake Odom. It's not going to take much for Greg McDermott to reach and pull somebody else, say, get in there for him. You know you got a rebound to play right now.
Eastman hits both free throws. That tip-in by Carl Richard put Indiana State at 6-1 going into their showdown tonight with 7-0 Missouri State in a big early season game in the Missouri Valley Conference. That game was at halftime Missouri State by 5, 32-27 at last report. Young with the Jays leading by 1. Darrell Ashford into the corner to Josh Jones. Ashford, 7 on the shot clock. Looking for Echenike, and it's knocked out of bounds by Egolf with 5 to shoot for the Blue Jays. McDermott will trot over, and now will be replaced. Antoine Young is going to inbound. Young looking to trigger in. He's got to go all the way back near the timeline to Josh Jones. Jones has got to hurry. Long three for Jones, and it's good! Josh Jones with a little shrug toward the bench. Greg McDermott, a bit of a smile, just like he drew it up, Nick.
Channeling his inner Michael Jordan against the Trailblazers. As you said it, just like they worked on in shoot around. Throw it to half court, take 2 dribbles, and splash.
Here's Egolf from the elbow. Echenike made him change that shot a little bit, and the rebound to the Jays. Chance for Creighton to maybe get a little early control here as it's knocked out of bounds by Andrew Warren, who at the end of every game for the Braves has to just be exhausted because he's got an entire team on his back.
He has to just basically live in an ice bath to help his knees and ankles, and with all the bruising he takes from running through screens, there's no doubt he's being tested every night.
Similar style of play to Nick Baugh back in the day as Antoine Young had a foul away from the ball. McDermott getting tangled up with Jake Eastman, and Eastman committing the personal foul. First personal on Eastman, and the 15th foul for Bradley.
See Eastman just trying to work with McDermott. Again, that's a matchup problem. The issue right now is Bradley's getting up and taking away passes that's disrupting timing and vision to throw the ball inside to Echenike and McDermott.
Prosser on the bench with 2 for Bradley. 2 fouls for Caleb Korver for the Blue Jays. Young, no look inbound to McDermott, who clears the road and puts it up and in to give the Jays this 6-point lead.
And those are the types of things you have to do when you're outmanned inside, is try and flop, act, try and get a call, put it on the official, and try and get a stop. Eastman's got no prayer for the freshman sensation, Doug McDermott. Got such good touch inside.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Jays. Sims Edwards trying to put something together as he tries to find Egolf, and it's knocked out of bounds by Darrell Ashford.
Bradley puts so much pressure on you on the perimeter, whether it's drive and then pitch it back to another player on the perimeter, and then he drives into a seam, and then they'll hit you with a ball screen. It's so difficult. I used to just hate playing Bradley because you knew it was going to be a long night defending on the perimeter.
Well, a tough break for Eastman. He got great position, but maybe a little too far underneath the basket. Here's McDermott running the floor, and it's pinned by Egolf. Gets it back and puts it right back up and in.
This has a nose for the ball, and has excellent stick-to-itiveness. Even after getting a shot block, stays with it, goes right back up and in.
Dodie Dunson with Bradley down 8. Pivotal moment in this first half for the Braves. They try to hang in this game early. Sims Edwards to Dunson. Warren inside, back out to Dunson for 3. Rolls off, no good. Bradley 0 for 4 from behind the arc. Young, no look into the corner for Jones. Jones back out to Young.
Good decision. He usually doesn't turn down jump shots. Good job from Josh Jones.
Ashford, now Jones in the corner, the 3, open and good! Josh Jones with 9 first half points as he makes the start tonight, and a big smile on his face as he gives the Jays the 11-point lead.
Isn't it amazing how you stay patient offensively, you turn down a jump shot and hope you can get it back, and eventually he does, and he buries the 3 from the corner. Jones gets put in the starting lineup, and he's responded. Just a great story. Local kid from Omaha Central, had open heart surgery his senior year, and has responded wonderfully with a great attitude, a great outlook on life. There he is, lining it up, knocking it down.
And now this is the one that was designed all the way from 40.
That's a tough horse shot right there, Kevin Kugler. And look at him, there's a Michael Jordan shrug to Greg McDermott.
I'm not sure that Michael Jordan was ever 3 for 22 coming into a game like Josh Jones was coming into play tonight, but he certainly has gone 3 or 4 from 3 as Josh Jones has tonight, matching his season total for made threes in the first 11 minutes of this ball game.
And he's been frustrated, there's no doubt about it. Traveling with the team, having a handful of conversations with him on the team bus, he's been very frustrated, and it's nice to see a young man stay patient and have good things happen.
So what you're saying is he got some advice from you and his game has turned around.
I got so much wisdom for these young kids, right?
Up top, Walt Lemon Jr. A 13-2 Creighton run. Braves 0 for their last 7 from the floor. Last Bradley field goal came at the 13-10 mark. 10 to shoot, and Egolf traveled with it. He ran into Echenike, and Echenike wouldn't move. Egolf did, and the travel and the drought continues for the Bradley Braves. A season-full drought as they continue their woes on the road. Jays with a 23-12 lead. Timeout on the floor as Jones going deep again. Welcome back to Quest Center Omaha, where the Creighton Blue Jays have a 23-12 lead over the Bradley Braves. Alongside Nick Baugh, I'm Kevin Kugler. Good start for the youngsters on this Jays squad, and certainly Doug McDermott this year, Nick Baugh, has had a great start to the season. Look at the company he's in.
Bob Harstead, Chad Gallagher, 2 of the best ever put on a Blue Jay uniform. That's amazing in itself to be mentioned in the same breath as those 2 guys, but it's very much deserving. Look at those numbers, and the thing that's been impressive is the consistency at which he's done it. And his game has just gotten better with each time he puts on the uniform, and even in Valley play, you see so many times freshmen, their numbers go down, their consistency goes down in Valley play, but not for this guy. He is special. Coach's kid, understands the game, doing just a great job for the Blue Jays.
Jays dominating in almost every category, certainly on the scoreboard. Bradley shooting just 22% from the floor right now, 4 for 18. Jays out rebounding the Braves 15-8. Bradley 0 for 4 from 3, Creighton 3 for 7. Of course, all 3 have been hit by Josh Jones. It has been a dominant performance, especially over the last 5 minutes for the Blue Jays, as they've opened up an 11-point lead with the ball into the ball game. Taylor Stormberg checking in, the freshman from Omaha, Creighton prep grad. Stormberg into the lineup. Feed down low, Echenike. Echenike to the basket, shot no good. McDermott's tip try no good. Ball loose in the corner, and it'll go out of bounds. And the Bradley Braves will get the possession, but trail by 11.
What a great catch from Gregory Echenike. Just couldn't get it to go down. Got such good hands. You see some big guys with size, but can't translate it into athletic ability on the basketball court. And Echenike's special in that regard.
Sims Edwards gives off to Dunson.
So it's just pitch back and drive. So tough.
Sims Edwards, long jumper, no good. Rebound gets his own. Sims Edwards driving to the basket against Echenike, and Echenike with the first personal foul of the night for the big man.
You can see there the zero tolerance policy being implemented right away. A long shot usually means long rebounds. Got to block the shooter. And Sims Edwards able to track it down and draw a foul on Echenike.
Sims Edwards, a 71% free throw shooter. And 18 against Southern, 15 against Wichita, 13 at Indiana State. He started to turn it on in league play for this Bradley squad as he's gotten more comfortable in the starting lineup. Came off the bench last year, averaged about 5 points a game.
He's played well. He's one of those players where is hot and cold, streaky, and Jim Les needs him to be on more than he's off because of the injuries to Brown and Maniscalco. Got to give Andrew Warren some help scoring the basketball.
23-14, the run broken by those two free throws from Sims Edwards. And Darrell Ashford work it over to Manigat. Manigat to Young. Back out to Young again. Rotate around into the corner. Open for three and good for Darrell Ashford. An easy look for Ashford, who's shooting nearly 40% from behind the arc.
Darrell Ashford spacing the floor nicely on the backside. Handled the double team. Good unselfish basketball. That ball was popping around on the perimeter, and Ashford knocks it down.
Jays by 12, 26-14 on the drive to the basket. Look at Sims Edwards getting all the way up and in to cut the lead to 10.
You have to force players into the ball screen. When the ball screen presents itself, you got to communicate and make sure he uses it so you can have your hedge man slow him down. Ashford didn't allow it, and he scored.
Ashford again for three, and he hits again. That's the fifth made three of the night for the Blue Jays. They are 5 of 9 from behind the arc. Eagle on the drive, lost it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Braves. Kenny Lawson got a hand on it to knock it away as Eastman checks back in for Walt Lemon Jr. Bradley undermanned as it is, Nick, and now Creighton's red hot from behind the arc as Ashford has hit back-to-back threes.
But it all starts with a post touch. You make the defense collapse and swing the ball. You got to be ready to shoot. Ashford's doing that.
Warren long two, no good, and Warren struggling early, just 1 for 5.
He has to score. There's no question about it.
Manigat back up top. Runnels to Young for three. A little bit short, no good, and the rebound to Eastman and a foul as Ashford took his legs out from underneath Jake Eastman.
But you gotta like the unselfish play right now. Whether it's via the pass or via the drive, that's a good kick out from Jahens Manigat, and then Ashford just trying to play hard, dive after a loose ball, grab a rebound. But Antoine Young misses another three. He started out shooting the ball really well from downtown, and he's really cooled off. You almost get to thinking that it could be his legs given a little bit with the extended minutes he's been playing.
Antoine Young averaging 36 minutes a game this year. That's a big workload. Not a lot of options, though, for Coach McDermott. As Sims Edwards goes to the basket, and he'll head to the free throw line for a chance at a three-point play. Greg McDermott asking, is this the NBA? What kind of continuation are we getting here?
Definitely a continuation, not a whole lot of contact. Take a look at Sims Edwards giving Ashford fits, driving to the hoop. That's very limited contact, Kevin, there. And again, the continuation argument from Greg McDermott, very valid.
Into the lineup again, Anthony Thompson returning for the Bradley Braves. Jones back out on the floor for Creighton. Sims Edwards, 8 points so far this evening. Make it 9 as he hits the free throw. 3 for 3 from the line, 3 of 5 from the floor. The Braves within 10 at 29-19. Creighton sets up in the half court with Manigat. Now Jones. Antoine Young Drive it into the paint, into the corner. Jones left alone. And Josh Jones hits again. 4 for 5 from 3, and Jones is red hot.
Josh Jones came on at the end of the year last season when Pionne Sinet was suspended indefinitely from the basketball team. And he's a guy that really was a prolific scorer in high school at Omaha Central and can really get it going. He has just been putrid so far this year. This is a great sight to see.
Sims Edwards on the drive, ball knocked out of his hands. Young looking to push again. Jones begging for it in the corner. Instead, it goes to Runnels.
Steven, I've been impressed, though, with his patience. Jones, usually a shot hunter, and he'll find them. But he's been patient. It's amazing what happens when you take good shots.
Look at everybody getting into the act as Kenny Lawson hits the 3, and the Jays blowing the Braves out here in this first half.
Lawson usually gets penetration kick threes or pick and pop threes. That was just swung around the perimeter, and he didn't have it hand up, so he just knocked it in.
Creighton is 7 of 12 from 3. What a start. Eastman in the corner, and Eastman stepped out of bounds, and a turnover back to the Creighton Blue Jays. It's all going Creighton's way tonight at Quest Center, Omaha. A 35-19 lead for the Jays. Alongside Nick Baugh, I'm Kevin Kugler from Quest Center, Omaha, where the Creighton Blue Jays have a 35-19 lead over the Bradley Braves with 3:57 remaining in this first half. Creighton started off really shaky from behind the arc. They were 0 for 3 from 3 to start the game. They're not shaky anymore, Nick.
Absolutely not. Look at all these baskets are off of inside-out action and great ball movement. Unselfish play leads to a high percentage from downtown, and it's contagious right now. And they're even throwing it in from half court. Josh Jones gets the start, knocks him down.
Josh Jones, 4 of those 7 Blue Jay three-pointers tonight. He has 12. And the Jays rolling here early against the Bradley Braves by the 35-19 score.
It's about rhythm when you're a shooter, and when you know when the shot's coming, you can just feel it. When you see the double team coming and you're on the backside and it gets kicked out, you can begin your shot preparation, and that's where you see numbers like that. For 4 for 5 for Josh Jones, 2 for 2 for Darryl Ashford, and 1 for 1 for the big dog, Kenny Lawson Jr. When you're in rhythm, percentages skyrocket.
35-19 Jays, 7 of 12 from 3. What a start for this Creighton squad from behind the arc. They're out rebounding Bradley 18-11. The Braves shooting just 26% from the floor.
The thing you like the most is 10 assists on 13 made baskets, sharing the ball.
There's Young. No look underneath to McDermott. What a snatch and what a finish.
He's really good at finding creases and openings around the hoop to present himself for passes, whether it's from Antoine Young or Kenny Lawson Jr. or Gregory Echenike. That's great basketball feel. That's all because he was at the dinner table with Greg McDermott just talking hoops at every single family dinner.
Sims Edwards dumps it to Egolf. Ball knocked free. Young with the steal. Young to the other end. Bounces it to Manigat. Back out to Lawson for 2, and Kenny Lawson with 7, and the Jays by 20.
Not exactly how you draw up a 4-on-1, a 15-footer. Got a little fancy, but 2 points is 2 points.
Warren driving it up, no good. Egolf's trying, no good. Rebound tapped out to Dunson. Eastman inside, and a charge called on Eastman. That'll be his second. And you can see some shoulders starting to slump on that Bradley side, and on these Bradley players, some heads looking down a little bit. They've seen this before, and a lot of frustration starting to become evident.
That's why in the keys to the game, I talked about confidence for Bradley. You know, this gets to a point where, you know, the demons of doubt, not only on the coaching staff, but as a player, can creep into your head, and you can start to wonder if you're ever going to win another game, and you're so desperate for things to go well, and when things don't, it can snowball for you.
Inside, a foul called against Bradley. That will be team foul number 7 against the Braves. Shot on its way up from Echenike, so he's going to get 2 free throws regardless. And Echenike 2 for 2 at the line tonight. Free throw good by Gregory Echenike. He'll get 1 more. There's Greg McDermott. Got to be thrilled. It's his 300th game as a Division I head coach tonight. I'm sure he could have asked for a much better start to this one than 41 on the board with 2:37 remaining in the first half.
And the Jays were frustrated after the last 2 games. Obviously, you lead Wichita State at halftime, lose the game right here at home. You lead Indiana State at halftime, and you lose that game at the buzzer. A team that needed some good things to happen as well.
Lemon over to Dunson for 3, and that's the first made 3 of the night for Bradley. They're 1 for 5 from behind the arc. That breaks the Creighton spell.
Cody Dunson, Iowa State transfer. He's an explosive player, very athletic, driving the ball at the hoop, getting one to go down.
Played for Coach McDermott in his freshman year in Ames. Speaking of a guy from Ames, is Doug McDermott going to the line on a great cut to the basket. McDermott misses the shot, but he's going to get a couple of free throw attempts here after the foul on Dyricus Sims-Edwards.
He's special because he can score, and you never even have to draw up a set play for him. He just finds a way to get the ball in the hoop. There you saw him set a screen and then just slip right to the basket and draw a foul.
McDermott, free throw is good.
It's amazing. He played high school basketball with a freshman preseason All-American at North Carolina, Harrison Barnes. And so far, he's put up better numbers than the preseason All-American teammate of his.
Both in the starting lineup and for their respective squads. McDermott, 3rd most points in Jays history through 19 games for a freshman. And he's got 10 already tonight.
It's hard to believe he was playing high school basketball.
Dunson a little strong. McDermott the rebound. That's rebound number 7 for McDermott. Nearly a double-double in the first half for the freshman Doug McDermott, who's been Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Week 5 times this year. They've renamed the award the Doug McDermott Award. Josh Jones.
Missouri becomes the Antoine Young show. Late shot clock is where number 30 here is just going to go make a play.
Play is not the one he wanted. No, it'll stay with the Jays, touched by Bradley. Greg McDermott does not recognize that play made by Antoine Young and would never like to see it again, as Doug McDermott will inbound. Young on the drive to the basket, banks it off the glass and in, and Antoine Young into the scoring column. His first 2 points to go along with 6 assists.
I think he's got to pick and choose his spots offensively. He needs to set the table first for his teammates before he thinks about scoring. He's done that tonight.
Got nearly with the steal.
Good help.
There's Lemon. Lemon into the paint against McDermott. Nice move by Walt Lemon Jr., the freshman, getting to the basket, knifing inside and getting 2.
And I like his game. He's not a great perimeter shooter, but when he puts it on the floor, he's tremendous going to the rack.
He's slippery. 14 points this year against Duke, 13 against USC, 12 against Utah.
You can just see it. It looks different when he puts it on the floor and makes a move. It's another gear.
Well, this Bradley team may be last in the Valley this year, but they'll go right back near the top next year with the return of Brown and Maniscalco, plus some of these youngsters who've gotten some work this year. And Echenike certainly will help the Jays in that regard next year as well, as he gets another 2. Bradley will work for the last shot here as the pass is tipped away and taken away by Manigat. Manigat to the other end, and he lays it in to put a capper on a wonderful first Braves, and this half has been dominated by the boys in blue. A 49-24 lead at the break at Quest Center, Omaha. Welcome back to Quest Center, Omaha. What a first half for the Creighton Blue Jays. They lead it 49-24 over the Bradley Braves. Well, we've all seen the Creighton Blue Jays on the court tonight, but this group of young men continue to act as a team off the court as well.
The Creighton basketball team recently found themselves in a familiar place. No, not the principal's office. The Blue Jays made a visit to Our Lady of Lourdes Elementary School in Omaha as a part of the National Just Read Literacy Program.
What's your favorite letter?
I'll go with B. You know why? This is for Blue Jay and basketball. So Blue Jay basketball.
You know, when our guys get on campus, we like to teach them, you know, they're here for a reason. They have three components: academics, athletics, and then also to give back.
Pretty good.
They talk to us about how we should stay in school, that it helps you in your career in life, and educational things like to keep your grades up so you don't drop out.
Oh, definitely. It's great. I mean, to give back to the kids. I mean, they come out and support us night in, night out in the games, and it's great to give back, and just the smiles on their faces on little events like this really means a lot to us.
And the message that they gave was so powerful. They talk about the things that we talk about as educators. They talked about listening to your teachers and doing your homework and paying attention in class and studying hard. So it was great to have such a powerful message delivered by people that the kids really are going to listen to.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
The Jays were definitely among fans.
Yeah, because I go to the game mostly every single game they have.
When I went to the game, there was a lot of shouting and screaming, and it was really packed in, but I had fun. I enjoyed the game. Gladly they won, so it was kind of exciting.
Some of the guys found they could have a little competition.
I play on the wing, just like the guy that we had in there.
And not all the questions were easy.
Does he like Texas? And I said, and his answer was yes. But he also likes Nebraska too, but he doesn't hate him.
One girl asked me that I had Facebook. That was pretty funny. And probably my favorite one probably was the Justin Bieber one, that I like Justin Bieber.
And your answer was?
I told her no, I didn't. She got kind of mad at me. So.
You guys gotta come to the game.
Even though their music tastes might differ, the students at Our Lady of Lourdes Elementary School were thrilled to have the Creighton Blue Jays on their court.
Yeah, the applause when we walked in was like as good as the Quest. Are you kidding me?
Can I have a basketball, please?
The team took the opportunity to ham it up for a bit for their young fans, starting with an assist dunk by Kenny and Josh Jones. Next, Jahen's Manigai got the kids going with an NBA three from the bleachers. Not wanting to go home on a miss, Taylor Stormberg gave the crowd the dunk they were all waiting for. Well, with a little help from Gregory Echenique.
Winner of a fine Our Lady.
A good message for the kids and potentially some new Creighton fans in the making.
Who's your favorite Creighton player? Maybe Kenny Lawson?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
Have fun, Mo.
Well, I know, Nick, it was one of those things that as a J, you got the chance to do many times. Hopefully you were a little bit more successful on the court than those guys were, but it was it's always a great experience.
It's so much fun. The season can get long and stressful, and whenever you get a chance to do things like this, it could be a great escape, and whenever you're putting a smile on some kids' faces, it's a win-win. It was a great day for the Jays, and I always enjoy doing stuff like that.
No, there's no doubt about that. Jay's very involved in the community, very involved in running out the Bradley Braves in this one. A 49-24 halftime lead for Creighton. Alongside Nick Bach, Kevin Kugler back at Quest Center, Omaha, where the Creighton Blue Jays are rolling the Bradley Braves right now, 49-24. And this has been a dominant performance so far, Nick, for this Creighton Blue Jays squad. After a slow start, game was tied early, but it didn't stay tied for long.
No, not at all. Josh Jones really got it going, got the nod, 4 for 5 from downtown, 12 points. But here's a look at what Bradley got going early. And the Jays withstood this little run. Andrew Warren got going, the Valley's leading scorer, running off some screens, doing what he does best. And then Dyreka Sims-Edwards takes it hard to the rack. You take a look at Dodie Dunson on a penetration kick 3. But that was about the extent of Bradley's offensive performance. Then the Jays took over, sharing the basketball, 12 team assists on 18 made baskets, 7 for 12 from downtown. A little shaking and baking from Josh Jones, and he buries a triple, and then it becomes contagious. Sharing the ball, Ashford, the beneficiary of some unselfish play. He buries a triple, and then the freshman picking up where he left off. Inside, then Echenique splitting the double team and finishing in the interior. Just a great half of basketball. And here's the cherry on top for the Canadian Red Bull. Jahins Manigat with a steal and the bucket.
Does he know you're calling him the Canadian Red Bull?
I have not informed him on this, but that's pretty good. I think it's going to stick.
As long as you keep saying it, it will. 60% shooting from the floor for the Jays, 58% from three-point land, only 3 turnovers for Creighton. You can't have a much better first half than that.
Yeah, if someone were to ask me, what are the halftime adjustments? There are none. Just do exactly what you've been doing if you're the Creighton Blue Jays. Doing a great job offensively, and they've done a nice job on the Valley's leading scorer, Andrew Warren. 1 for 6 from the field, 4 points.
Unbelievable. What a half for the Creighton Blue Jays. Second half is straight ahead. Can they keep the pressure on? We'll find out coming up. Jays lead it 49-24. Welcome back to Quest Center Omaha alongside Nick Baum, Kevin Kugler. Everybody happy tonight except for the folks wearing Bradley red. 49-24, the Blue Jays with the advantage over the Bradley Braves at halftime, and it has been raining threes here, Nick Boss. 7 of 12 for the Creighton Blue Jays from behind the arc. Josh Jones getting into the act along with guys like Daryl Ashford, who's 2 for 2 from 3. It has just been a total 3-point barrage tonight for the Blue Jays.
And it hasn't just been one guy. 3 different Blue Jays have knocked down a 3. Doing a great job offensively, but it starts with paint touches, whether it's via the pass or via the drive. Just a great half of basketball for the Blue Jays. And there you saw one of Antoine Young's 6 assists in the first half. 6 assists, 0 turnovers. I thought Antoine Young played really well in that first 20 minutes.
Really, the entire team did a lot of good things that Coach McDermott's going to be thrilled with. Now, can they shoot 7 of 12 in the second half? Doubtful. That's hard to do, but a guy who certainly could shoot 7 of 12 all by himself, continuing to shoot the threes despite the fact that he's gone from the Creighton Blue Jays. An old teammate of yours, Booker Woodfox.
Main man Book won the MBDL 3-point contest. Look at him knocking it down. Booker Woodfox had a great career. In 2 years, he was the 6th man of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference as a junior. And then he was the player of the year in the Missouri Valley Conference his senior year. And look at those. Look how deep those threes are. And he was one of those guys, Kevin, whether it was ping pong or pool or darts, he was just kind of good at everything, and shooting was his specialty.
There's Nancy Lieberman looking on with Booker Woodfox, the NBDL. He is the three-point.
And who taught him?
This
guy taught him.
There we go, right there.
Line it up, knock it down.
This is the sum total of Nick Bob's career that we're seeing here at Creighton.
Come on now.
That's 2. There it is.
Look at that. Good pass.
That was a very good play. Booker Woodfox from behind the arc, 45.5% at Creighton. That's a school record. 40.6% this year with the Texas Legends. He has continued to shine from behind the arc. One of the quickest shots I've ever seen. It did not take him long before he got the ball in his hands to get that ball on its way to the hoop.
Yeah, he was a special player, running them off screens, catching and shooting. Again, Blue Jays went 27-8 his senior year, and he was obviously the biggest part of that. Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year, Booker Woodfox, doing a nice job in the D-League.
No question about that. Getting ready to go in this second half, the Jays with a 25-point lead over the Bradley Braves. Second half kicks off next on NET Sports. Welcome back to Quest Center Omaha, where we're about ready to start this second half. The Creighton Blue Jays 49, the Bradley Braves 24. Kevin Kugler, Nick Baugh with you from Quest Center, Omaha, as the Jays' halftime lead, its largest at Quest Center since leading Nebraska 47-20 on November 24, 2007. The most at halftime in a game for the Jays since they scored 49 against Houston Baptist December 17th of 2007. And Josh Jones' 12 points tonight, double his previous season high entering tonight. Turnover for the Jays on the opening possession, and to the other end of the floor, Andrew Warren with the flush.
Defense leading to offense, and that's the only area Doug McDermott's game he's somewhat struggled is when he gets double teamed, he can be a little weak with the ball. 6 assists, 13 turnovers in Valley play. He's going to get double teamed. The more he scores, Kevin, he's going to have to get to the point where he can handle it and make it pay.
McDermott in the corner. Rotating around to Korver. Got into early foul trouble, was a non-factor in that first half. Here's Echenike, driving to the basket, flips it over the front of the rim. Echenike into double figures with 10.
Well, I've been really surprised that even on the double teams, Lawson and Echenike have been able to split it or spin away from it and score. That's a big no-no when you double team, is the guy who you're doubling can't score. That's why you're doubling.
Either way, the Jays will go back 51-28 after Prosser gets the 2.
And stay locked in, Kevin. You don't want to practice bad habits here. You don't want to play to the score. You want to play the right way the whole time.
Echenike, a big way to finish that off as the ball got knocked out of Jones's hands. Echenike gets fouled. He'll go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play. Gregory Echenike with 12 points and 5 rebounds tonight.
Again, after taking a year off, transferring from Rutgers, obviously with the eye injury, I thought he's really played well here tonight and has done a nice job in a short amount of time for Creighton. Made his presence felt immediately.
Cody Dunson will walk it up for Bradley.
Andrew Warren's going to get going. He's going to really start to be aggressive because he's going to have to be the guy here. Bradley's going to mount a comeback. It's going to be on his shoulders.
Inside, Warren, turnaround no good. Rebound on the weak side by Prosser. Second chance now for the Bradley Braves. Dunson free throw line jumper. Echenike came out, made him change it, and Creighton gets the rebound.
He does a nice job of altering shots. Even when he doesn't block them, he makes players adjust.
Looking back low, reposting, gets the ball from Korver and throws it away. Warren up the other end of the floor for Bradley, driving it on Korver. Floater is good for Warren, who's starting to get into it. He had 4 in the first half. He's got 8 now in the ball game.
That's a smart play from Andrew Warren, recognizing that Caleb Korver had to sit most of the first half with 2 fouls. Take it right at Korver as he doesn't want to pick up his 3rd and score.
Josh Jones inside to Echenike. Echenike's shot no good, but he's going to the line for 2 free throws. Work it inside to the big man, and Jordan Prosser, or rather Egolf, commits the foul. That is number 2 on Will Egolf, 2 on Prosser for the front line of the Bradley Braves.
Great ball movement on the perimeter, and Gregory Echenike does a nice job of waiting and timing his seal right as the ball gets swung to where he's going to be available to catch.
Echenike perfect at the foul line tonight. 6 for 6 for the big man. Free throw from Echenike is good. Make it 7 of 7. And Dodie Dunson will walk it up with the Braves trailing by 26, 56-30.
Bradley just can't seem to string together any stops, string together any good offensive possessions. It's tough to make a run, hang in there when you can't do that.
Egolf off the glass, a little strong, no good. Rebound knocked loose, and it's picked up by Egolf again. Long 3 for Sims Edwards, and it rolls home. Diaricus Sims Edwards with 12 and a timeout. 56-33, the Jays lead is 23, and a full timeout here at Quest Center, Omaha. And McDermott doing a little coaching with Gregory Echenike.
8 offensive rebounds now for Bradley. Again, a 0 tolerance policy for anybody that gives up an offensive rebound.
Andrew Warren tonight, the leading scorer in the Valley, held to just 8 points, 3 for 9 from the field. We talked with Jim Les about his leading scorer.
I'd say in the past, Andrew was a shooter, and now he's become a scorer. And he's doing it in a variety of ways against, a variety of different defenses and attention being paid to him. He's posting up some, he's getting some offensive rebounds. You know, he's shooting the ball, he's putting the ball on the floor and scoring. So I think that's the thing that has been kind of fun to watch and kind of fun as a coach to put him in different situations because of the multitude of skills that he has. He's also been a really good decoy and screener. You know, he's commanding so much attention. People don't want to help off him that he's been more than willing to free up his teammates by being a screener or a decoy in certain instances, which is, you know, a credit to his, you know, wanting to help the team.
Well, he's got such a burden to carry this year.
Well, I like what Coach Les said there about Andrew Warren. Said in the past he was just a shooter, now he's a scorer. People ask, what's the difference? Well, a shooter is someone that's just a one-trick pony. You can take what they do away. A scorer can just do it in a lot of different ways, and it's tough to take a true scorer out of the game. And that's what Andrew Warren is now. He can do it in a lot of different areas. He used to just be a catch-and-shoot guy. Now he can put it on the floor, get to the free throw line. He's really expanded his game in the absence of Maniscalco and Brown.
His godfather, a guy who was a shooter, one of the best in the NBA for a lot of years, and Chuck Person, the rifleman, could find any corner and drain a three. Andrew Warren obviously getting some good coaching from Chuck Person.
There's no doubt about it. And you look at what's happened to Bradley this year. Obviously, in the short term, it's frustrating, but you touched on it. In the long term, Kevin, this is going to really help Bradley next 2 years because guys have had to expand their roles and play big minutes. They'll be more comfortable when they're doing that next season.
Well, they'll lose Warren and Dunson, and that's it. And they'll get back Brown and Maniscalco.
Yeah, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. Listen, if they wouldn't have lost Taylor Brown and Sam Maniscalco, they'd be right in the thick of things.
Sims Edwards with the Braves down 23. Warren in the paint, and Warren with the finger roll to make it a 56-35 game. But Warren heating up. He's got 6 second-half points.
Love his pace. Always under control, going at his speed, the drive there. Never got out of control and finished. The Jays been a little sloppy. They've scored inside with Echenike, but there's been a handful of turnovers. Again, you want to play the right way. Although you got a lead, a pretty comfortable one, you want to practice good habits.
McDermott, the three on the left side. That's in and out, no good. Jays' first three attempted in this second half is a miss. Now Dunson driving it to the basket, has to back out when he sees Echenike down there.
Just his presence.
Double zero, time to go. Here's Sims Edwards. He's not shying away, and he gets the roll. Sims Edwards with 14. Trying to get the Braves back into this. They've carved it under 20.
I can guarantee you there was a real spirited talk in the halftime locker room for Jim Les and the Bradley Braves. Not pleased with anything that he saw from his team in the first 20 minutes. They've come out a lot more inspired here.
Josh Jones with the jumper, and he's got 14, tying his career high on NET last year against Evansville.
Amazing what someone can do when given an opportunity. He's actually didn't even play a couple games ago at Southern Illinois. Now a couple games later, he's starting and playing well.
And he loves the NET cameras.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
58-39. What a pass and what a finish by Gregory Echenike. What a feed from Antoine Young, and the big man in transition able to slam it home.
Some coaches don't like one-hand passes. That's something Antoine Young does really well in transition and can do it with both hands. And Echenike throws it down.
Sims Edwards on the drive from the left. Hanging in the air, he gets the hoop, and he'll go to the line for a chance at a three-point play. Hard not to like what you see from Dyricus Sims Edwards tonight. Bradley, though, down big, 60-41. More on NET Sports. Cinema. Father Schlegel, the president of Creighton, on the left there, enjoying this one at Quest Center Omaha alongside Nick Baugh. I'm Kevin Kugler. A very welcoming atmosphere for Father Schlegel and company at Quest Center, but it's not been for Jim Les in his 9th season. The dean of the Missouri Valley Conference has struggled here. His teams have struggled here. 12 straight at home in the series for the Creighton Blue Jays, and Jim Les talked with us about why this place has been a house of horrors.
Well, you know, I think every year's a little bit different coming in. We've had some unbelievable games here. We've been close a number of times, and you know, I don't think we're trying to conquer any demons in the past. We're trying to, you know, focus on tonight and with this team and what we have to do and play sound basketball and know we have to play at a high level. You know, Creighton's a good basketball team and they're good here at home. But I really like our approach. Our practice the last couple of days, we don't play like a team that's in a losing streak. You know, these kids are good kids, they're working hard, they want to get over the hump. It's going to happen. I just hope it happens tonight.
Well, so far it has not happened tonight for Jim Les's squad, down 60-41, but a little bit of a shakeup in the top of the Missouri Valley Conference standings tonight. Missouri State goes down to Indiana State 70-69. Indiana State moves into a tie atop the tops of the Missouri Valley Conference.
What a surprise. Indiana State, a team I really was impressed with on Sunday. They can score in a lot of different ways.
The Jays have been scoring from 3 as Kenny Lawson hits his second 3 of the night. He's into double figures with 10. That's 4 Jays now into double figures tonight. It's 63-41.
Really important that Lawson stays confident. He needs a game where he sees the ball go in a couple times. And a lot of that is stemming from Antoine Young, again, just setting the table for people.
Offensive rebound, Dunson. Here's Sims Edwards. He thought about that shot, pulled it down. Dunson. Eastman, nowhere to go. Good defense from Wayne Runnels. Sims Edwards for 3. Barely draws iron. Lawson the rebound.
17 points in the first 6 minutes and change here for Bradley. They scored 24 points in the first 20 minutes.
Lawson misses for the first time from behind the arc. Rebound Dunson. Sims Edwards ahead to Thompson. Back out to Warren for 3, and that one halfway down, and it popped back up. Tough night for Andrew Warren, 5 of 13 from the floor.
But you can feel that tempo getting established a little bit more for Bradley. It's tough to get out and run and make some plays in transition when you're taking the ball out. Now they're finally getting a few stops, and they're able to get out and run and utilize their speed and quickness.
Ashford in the corner, hits the 3. He's 3 for 3 from behind the arc. He's got 9, and the Jays lead at 66-41.
Daryl Ashford's a guy that was taken out of the starting lineup when they went big with McDermott, Echenike, and Lawson, and he's maintained a positive attitude through all this. For a senior to be a team-first guy is exactly what you want to see.
Into the game comes Taylor Stormberg. Stormberg will check in for the 2nd time tonight, the freshman guard. He works awfully hard in practice, and that work is paying off with some playing time here.
Well, clearly Greg McDermott trusts this redshirt freshman and giving him minutes. This isn't the first time he's been on the floor. Played a little bit at Indiana State. He's just an effort guy, a glue guy. You know he's going to do the right thing.
66-41. Sims Edwards trying to get to the basket. The shot's strong, but he's going to go to the free throw line and get a pair of free throws.
60. Bright spot.
Well, he has. He's been one of the few. 16 points tonight for Dyricus Sims Edwards, 12 for Warren, and those are the only 2 Bradley Braves in double figures. 28 of the 41 points scored between those 2. And that's not new for this Bradley squad, especially in conference play.
Andrew Warren scores 30% of Bradley's total points from one guy. That percentage is outrageous. They just don't have a whole lot of bounds.
Milos Kanisevic into the game for the first time tonight. Will Egolf back in as well. Kanisevic, a 6'8" sophomore from Las Vegas. He is a 3-point shooter. All but 2 of his attempts this year have come from behind the arc. He is the Nick Baugh of Bradley.
Anywhere's number 34 like I did.
Exactly. I mean, really, Nick Baugh and Milos Kanisevic the name wasn't on the back of the jersey, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
He's got better hair than me. That's the only difference.
And you were a better shooter, at least percentage.
Yeah. I'd rather be a better shooter than have good hair, I guess.
Lawson around to Stormberg.
Reynolds steps out and faces up.
Stormberg with 8 to shoot. Trying to feed it down low, and it's taken away. Walt Lemon Jr. up the floor for the Braves, trailing 66-43. Kanicevic. The Bradley Nick Baugh cannot rain it down as Manigat gets the rebound.
But that didn't take long for him to get one up. And
as I recall, it didn't take long for you to fire
never
a shot either.
A shot I didn't like.
Lawson. Runnels walked with it, the turnover. Back to the Bradley Braves. 11:22 remaining in the second half. It's been all Creighton tonight at Quest Center, Omaha. Blue Jays lead at 66-43. 66-43, the Creighton Blue Jays with the lead over the Bradley Braves. 11:22 remaining in this second half. Alongside Nick Baugh, I'm Kevin Kugler. It has been a dominant performance for the Creighton Blue Jays tonight. The Bradley Braves trying to get back into it with Warren leading the way. He's had a better second half than the first. 8 second-half points for the leading scorer in the Valley, Andrew Warren.
Yeah, he was just 1 for 6 in the first half, now 4 for 7 in the second half. And you can see once he gets going, he's feeling a little bit better about himself. The tempo got established, and he was able to penetrate into the paint and make some plays. And he's got excellent spurt ability as just an individual scorer. And you can forget about him for a couple possessions, and he can score and make you pay.
Jays have done a great job this year against teams' leading scorers. They've held the opposition's leading scorer below their average in 14 of 18 games. Maybe the most impressive was the job that the Jays did on Jimmer Fredette in December when BYU came calling. I am not sure Jimmer Fredette has had under 20 since that night against the Creighton Blue Jays. He has been on fire all year long. And a foul up top on Stormberg as he was trying to defend Andrew Warren. And that's a tough matchup for Taylor Stormberg to deal with Andrew Warren.
We'll see if Bradley kind of smells blood here, and they'll test Stormberg's ability to slide his feet.
Dunson back to Warren. Warren fade away at the elbow. Pretty shot rolled off, no good. McDermott the rebound.
Good defense from Stormberg there. Got caught on the switch and contested the jump shot. Nice job.
Stormberg with Warren in front of him. Ashford finding Manigat. McDermott got free, a little floater, and it's good. McDermott able to get the hoop, and he's going to get a chance at a three-point play. What a start to his career McDermott has had. Now 12 points and 9 rebounds tonight.
Look at him, look at the angle, then go right up, and the touch. Those are really difficult shots. Little one-hand floaters from the baseline there. That's extremely, extremely tough.
Kanicevic with that foul, and the free throw no good. Rebound to Walt Lemon Jr. Sims Edwards. Back out now to Egolf, long 2. Hit balls out, no, but a tip dunk by Andrew Warren. Out of nowhere, he got way up for that one.
But the hang time from Warren to just chill up there by the rim, wait for it, throw it down.
Stormberg to McDermott. 68-45, Creighton in control. This Jays team at 4-3 in the Valley have lost all the games against the top teams in the league. Here's Manigat in the corner for three, and Manigat with his first three of the night. He's got 7, and for Creighton, their 10th made three of the evening.
Doug McDermott's a freshman that's played well in Valley play and increased his numbers from a shooting percentage standpoint. And so is Giants Manigat.
What a move by Warren to get free, puts it up and in, and he's fouled. Oh, he got Manigat leaping into the air and was able to squeeze by him, felt the contact coming from Kenny Lawson, and got the chance at a three-point play.
Don't get too eager to block a shot. Great use of the head and shoulders fake, the shampoo fake to get Lawson to bite on it. And now a chance for a three-point play. This is a tremendous score.
Warren with 16 and closing in on where that Jays run of holding down leading scorers below their average is going to end tonight. As he hits the free throw, he's got 17, averaging 19 points a game, and I think somewhere in the next 9.5 he's likely to get a pair.
I'll take that bet.
I'm sure you will. Echenike gives it back to Josh Jones. McDermott. Jones in the corner, and it's turned over. Stormberg not looking for it, ricocheted out of bounds, and a turnover back to Bradley with 9:18 to play.
It's 6 turnovers this half. And Creighton, one of the better teams in the nation at taking care of the ball, and they did a good job in the first half. The second half, they got a little sloppy.
Walt Lemon Jr. Sims Edwards. He's had a nice night. Leaner in the paint, a little bit short, no good. Rebound saved by McDermott, but he threw it out of bounds, and it's going to go right back to Bradley as Antoine Young will check in for Stormberg.
Pretty good minutes from Taylor Stormberg. I was most impressed with how he was able to defend on the perimeter. I think that was going to be the biggest question mark, is how he'd do against these athletic guards for Bradley. I thought he held his own. Important minutes for Taylor Stormberg. Because at some point, probably the most impressive thing about Antoine Young is he's played all those minutes and hasn't been in foul trouble. And so eventually there could be a game where he does get in foul trouble, and you're going to need some depth at that point guard position.
Oh, nice chance to get Young a little bit of a breather tonight as well. He's had a chance to rest a little bit on the bench. Don't have to use those minutes when you don't necessarily need him in a game like this. And a turnover. Jays get a little sloppy here, and you can understand that they've been in control of this game for in real time almost the last hour. 49-24 lead at halftime, and really hard to keep your focus in a game like that where you know you're going to win.
That just drives coaches nuts.
Kanisevic on the drive to the basket, and he gets the leaner to go. Nick Baugh with a big smile on his face as he watches Kanisevic.
Oh, I'm just so proud of Kanisevic channeling his inner Nick Baugh. It's great to see.
Here's Josh Jones for three, and that one rolls off no good. Kanisevic with a rebound. Kanisevic. Egolf's going to have to back it up and trying to keep the ball away from Andrew Warren. Warren pull-up jumper, got it. Long two for Warren. He's got 19, and he's above his average. And what a second half. 15 second half points for Warren.
This has not been a pretty second half for the Creighton Blue Jays. After a great first half, they've been really sloppy and allowing Bradley to shoot a really high percentage. And the second half's really doomed Creighton. They've led at the second half all 3 of their Valley losses.
Jays only have 3 field goal attempts in this second half. They're 2 for 3. That's not exactly a robust number of shots at this point in the second half. Short break as the Jays have a 71-52 lead. 71-52, the Creighton Blue Jays with a comfortable lead over the Bradley Braves. 7:32 remaining in this second half at Quest Center, Omaha. Jays in their huddle, trying to figure out the number that I threw out before the break where they'd only had 3 shots. That's not accurate. Creighton on the road at Missouri State, Northern Iowa, Indiana State, Bradley, and then back on NET for our annual matchup with the Evansville Purple Aces.
A difficult road swing now at Missouri State, and you're going to have an upset crew as they again lost 70-69 tonight at Indiana State. Then you got to go to Northern Iowa, who is up by 1, 55-54 with about 10 minutes to play against Wichita State. You know, Northern Iowa was one of those teams that had lost at the buzzer twice, and so they're a lot better than their record indicates. That's going to be a tough 2-game road swing.
And Bradley, their road at Evansville, then home for Illinois State, at Wichita State, Creighton, and then at Southern Illinois and Missouri State. They like their second half better. Bradley shooting 12 of 23 in the second half. Creighton, after being woefully underestimated by yours truly, they're 8 of 11 in this second half. How's that sound? 3 of 6 from 3 and 3 of 4 from the free throw line for the Creighton Blue Jays. Bradley with 11 offensive rebounds in this ball game, and that's something that when Greg McDermott's looking for things to talk about with his team after this game, that's one of the things I'm sure he'll talk about.
Well, I know when they got off the plane on Sunday night after they lost on a tip-in at Indiana State, they went right to watching film, and I can guarantee you they did a whole bunch of rebounding drills because they felt like that cost them the basketball game, and so it's frustrating to see your guys work on something in practice and not translate into a game and putting bodies on these Bradley Braves as they're crashing the glass.
73-52, 21-point lead for the Blue Jays. Walt Lemon Jr. harassed by Darrell Ashford. 15 to shoot. Lemon in the corner. Kanisevic open for 3. A little strong, no good. The rebound to Darrell Ashford.
You can have more efficient offense right now. The Jays, although they're shooting high percentage, a lot of turnovers. You got to play the right way.
Inside McDermott, that's playing the right way. A nice feed from Young, good position from McDermott, and the easy 2 for the freshman who's got a double-double, 14 points, 10 rebounds.
You said a position, created an angle with the post up, another one-handed pass from Antoine Young.
Lemon dumping it down to Egolf. Egolf shot partially blocked by Echenike, and a foul is called. And Egolf getting involved in that foul. That is Egolf's 3rd personal foul and his 74th of the season. Kanisevic will sit down as Dodie Dunson returns to the Braves lineup.
It's so tough for Jim Les and his staff right now. They're a program that's accustomed to winning, and especially over the last decade, they've really had a nice run. And remember their run of the Sweet 16, defeated Kansas and Pitt in 2006, wasn't that long ago. Now for them to see 0 for 7, probably going to go 0 for 8 now in Valley plays. Tough pill to swallow for Brad.
Will match their longest losing skid, 8 in a row, that they had in January of 2004. They've not been accustomed to losing an awful lot. Here's Warren to the other end all alone, and a one-handed dunk gives Warren 21 on the night. We're talking about a team that under Jim Les has had 4 straight 21-plus win seasons. I mean, this is foreign territory for this program.
That's the thing, is when you've tasted the top of it and you've been winning games and you've been in the NCAA tournament, years like this will just make you really lose a lot of sleep.
McDermott to Jones. Jones lobbing down to Echenike, and a foul. He is just too much man to handle in there by the Bradley Braves. Walt Lemon Jr. trying to help out. I'm not sure at 6'3" he's going to be much help against Echenike.
Not at all, and that's the problem. Again, the lineup right now, 4 guards around Egolf, who's more perimeter oriented than he is interior oriented, so it's just so difficult for him.
McDermott out to Ashford, back down low to Echenike, muscling it to the basket. His shot no good. Look at McDermott in there, fighting for the rebound, still loose, and it's scooped up by Dunson. Sims Edwards against Young, driving it in. The shot is no good. A foul on Antoine Young, and that'll be his first personal foul of the night.
You see how quickly they transition from a rebound to attacking offensively, whether it's off of a turnover or a missed shot. They don't waste a whole lot of time getting that ball outletted, and they're going 3-on-1 there, and Dyreka Sims-Edwards, who's really played well tonight, attacks Antoine Young.
Free throw no good by Dyreka Sims-Edwards. Echenike with a new career high, or a new season high rather. Here at Creighton, a career high. His career high came at Rutgers. He had 21 in a game against Princeton, but 17 points tonight gives him a new Creighton career high.
He's totally given this team a spark midway through the year. It's always so nice when the guy that you can have become eligible is exactly what you lack. Creighton was a team that lacked size and physicality. And Gregory Echenike, 6'9", 270 and physical. So he's exactly what the doctor ordered midway through the year.
Young inside to McDermott, and a foul reaching around by Dyreka Sims-Edwards, his second personal foul. Corver back on the floor for the Jays. He is scoreless tonight, has only attempted one shot after getting into that very early foul trouble and took one of the hotter Jays out of his rhythm tonight. But the Jays have not needed him because everybody else has been so hot as McDermott goes to the line to attempt the free throw, and he'll get the bonus. 3 for 4 at the line, 15 points, 10 rebounds for Doug McDermott, and his dad looking on comfortably on the sideline.
I've talked to Greg McDermott about what it's like coaching his son, and he said he's really tried really hard. Once the game gets going, he's just another player. When he's in practice, he's just another player. You don't want to treat him any different, and he always gives a ton of credit to all the other Creighton Blue Jay basketball members and embracing Doug McDermott, because that can be a difficult dynamic, having a head coach have his son on the team.
Here's Lemon inside. Nice move by Walt Lemon Jr. He's got 4 points, but a bright future.
Looking a little lemonade, driving to the basket with the left hand.
I'm not even going to pick up the lemonade reference. I'm just going to let it lay there and let everyone just think about how sour that sounded. Corver knocked out of bounds off his leg. It'll go to Bradley with 4:24 to play in this ball game. You know it's bad when the lemonade references start coming out.
Oh, that means
I'm sorry. It was very good.
Thank you.
Not quite the Bradley Nick Baugh reference, but we'll take it. Dunson.
I'll work it in one more time. Don't worry.
I'll look forward to it.
Okay, here we go. Lemonade time.
Dunson, the floater up and good. Creighton's had 9 turnovers in this second half. It's been a sloppy second half. Had a big lead at halftime, and you could tell the Jays kind of took the foot off the gas a little bit.
That's going to drive Greg McDermott nuts.
Especially with, as you mentioned, the second half problems the Jays have had this year. You don't want to get into a feeling of taking that second half off like they have tonight.
It's about sustaining the effort and energy and focus necessary for 40 minutes to beat good basketball teams. And although they've shot a good percentage and they've scored 76 points, the second half has really not been a thing of beauty for Creighton.
Well, Doug McDermott tonight, another terrific night for the freshman out of Ames. 15 points, 10 rebounds, and he scores anywhere on the floor. He can run the floor. He can do almost everything, Nick.
Hey, he can play on the perimeter. He can play inside. And you see there how he just finds open areas and makes himself available. And here he is using angles and then the touch. Just a special, special player. And you look at him, he's not very strong, not a whole lot of beef on him for just a freshman. But he knows how to use what he has to create space to score. He's just been so much fun to watch, and really was not going to be on the team. I mean, he was originally committed to Northern Iowa, but when Greg McDermott took the job here at Creighton, he said, son, pack your bags, you're coming with me, and he's been a great addition.
And his dad, Greg McDermott, sat down and talked about those challenges of having his son and also his son as an athlete.
Well, from a coaching standpoint, I'm surprised at his consistency. Oftentimes with freshmen, there's a lot of peak peaks and valleys in their first season, and times where they have to really pick themselves up after maybe a prolonged slump of some sort. And that really hasn't happened to Doug to this point. He's been relatively consistent, both scoring the basketball and rebounding the basketball. He's a work in progress defensively, and certainly with developing his body, but he's working on that. I think he'll get better. And as a parent, we couldn't ask for any more to have my wife and daughter able to come and watch Dad coach and Doug play at the same time has been great for our family.
And it's been great for this Creighton Blue Jay squad as well, Nick, to have this guy on the team. His 4th double-double, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 7th straight game that he's had at least 8 rebounds. 16th time this year he's been in double figures.
Hey, it's leading scorer, leading rebounder on this team. And to echo what Greg McDermott was saying, he took the words right out of my mouth. The thing that has impressed me the most is his consistency, because that's something you really, really don't see a lot in freshmen, is their ability to do it night in and night out. And he has been that consistent scorer and consistent rebounder that Creighton has needed all year long.
Antoine Young on the drive to the basket. His shot no good. Rebound though for the Jays, Wayne Runnels. Runnels in the corner, driving in, contact with Dodie Dunson. And the foul's going to go on Runnels. The turnover back to Bradley after the charge.
Runnels is a guy that is kind of a hybrid forward. He's not really a center because of his size, and he's more perimeter oriented, so he's not really a power forward. And you see him oftentimes will take guys away from the hoop and drive the basketball. He just really hasn't quite found his niche on this team and where he can attack and where he can be successful. Great kid, great player, can't quite find his role right now.
Greg McDermott not pleased with the call on Wayne Runnels.
Official saying, Coach McDermott, it's 76 to 59. It doesn't really matter.
There's 3:36 to play. But now they're going to discuss. So maybe Greg McDermott got his point across here.
Persuasive.
Now he's being told to quit persuading for a moment while they discuss. Well, it's very rare that you see this discussion occur at this point. Still talking about it. Greg McDermott looking a bit perplexed, Nick.
I'm not sure what the issue is, but we need to get it resolved. We finally do.
Jim West taking advantage of that to get a little extra coaching with his team. Watch it again.
It's an offensive foul. That was the call.
Antoine Young.
Antoine Young miss, and Runnels with the board.
Not sure what the issue was. But either way, it's Bradley ball as Lemon goes to work. Off the glass, good, and the foul. And the Bradley Braves are back within 15.
I'm gonna let you do it. You can go ahead and use the nickname.
Well, the Jays handed the Braves some lemons, and Walt Lemon has made lemonade out of it.
You used it so much better than I did. Why you gotta one-up me, Googler?
I'm not sure that either of our references are going to go to the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Lemon's free throw, no good. The rebound, Darrell Ashford.
Young, he's played well, Kevin, and he's not shot the ball very much. He's pick and choose his spots, only 1 for 4 from the field, but 10 assists, 2 turnovers for the junior out of Bellevue West. He's doing a really good job.
Been the floor general. That's what they ask him to do. That's what they need him to do, and he's been exactly that tonight. Young against Lemon. 9 on the shot clock, and his shot thrown into the stands by Walt Lemon, leaving a real sour look on the face of Antoine Young.
There you go. You embrace the limit.
Off the inbound, no good. Egolf with the rebound. And out of bounds, it's touched last by Darrell Ashford. It'll stay with Bradley. 2:50 to go. It's a 15-point game. I'm not suggesting anything crazy here, but this game may end up looking a lot closer than it actually was if the Jays don't figure out a way to ratchet it up down the stretch.
Again, it's about playing a certain way no matter who you're playing or what the score is, and Creighton hasn't done that in the second half.
Warren gets the foul call, and he'll go to the free throw line for a pair. Corver with his 3rd personal foul, and the fans remaining at Quest Center Omaha didn't like the call. Warren was a little baiting on that call, but he got the whistle.
Take a look at it, the spin, and just does a nice job. The shot fake, and lean into Caleb Corver, and when you leave your feet, you lose all your rights as a defensive player.
Warren misses the free throw.
Rare miss.
First one of the night for a guy who shoots 91% at the free throw line, 11th in the country in free throw percentage. If you send him there, it's usually 2.
See if they'll come with some full court pressure. That's been an issue a little bit because Antoine Young's the only guy that is a pure ball handler on the floor. There's no problem for him.
Young back over to Lawson. 2:23 to go. Jays up by 14, 76-62. Largest lead tonight, though, 26 early in the second half for the Blue Jays. So Bradley's cut it in half. Young with 7 to shoot. Inside and a foul. The hold on Dyricus Sims-Edwards, and that'll frustrate Jim Les. They work the shot clock all the way down to 5, and Sims-Edwards commits his 3rd personal foul.
Great defensive possession. Sims-Edwards is irate right now, and it's always, like I said, frustrating to do such a good job, and right at the end of the shot clock foul, especially when it's kind of a shaky pass. You never want to see a bad offensive possession result in points.
Free throw is good for Wayne Reynolds. First point of the night for the senior from Oklahoma. Second one a little strong. Rebound in the corner for Egolf. Warren with 22 points, 18 in the second half. Dunson driving on Young. All the way to the basket. Shot no good. Lost in the rebound. Jays are going to go to 13-7, 5-3 in the Missouri Valley Conference. And a tough couple of games coming up for the Jays. As they hit the road after this one. Take on Missouri State over the weekend in a huge game at Springfield. Missouri State coming off their first loss in conference play tonight.
Then it'll be a little bit of a homecoming for Greg McDermott as he was the coach at Northern Iowa as the Jays turned over again as the Jays travel to Northern Iowa next Tuesday. It's going to be almost like an inter-squad scrimmage because both teams do a lot of the same things, both offensively and defensively.
And obviously a real mixed emotion kind of game for Coach McDermott, who left Northern Iowa to go to Iowa State and left one of his best friends in charge of that program, and Coach Jacobson. Egolf inside against Manigat. A little strong. A rebound to Dunson, and there's a foul. Dunson being held. Stormberg in there for the Blue Jays commits the personal foul. That is his 2nd.
Great story on Dodie Dunson. The guy that was diagnosed with dyslexia at Bradley. And obviously he's adjusted from that, and now has a 3.5 GPA, up for the Lowe's Senior Class Award. Just a great story.
He had a great week last week. Averaged 18 points a game against Indiana State, Missouri State. 5 points, 6 rebounds tonight for Dunson, but has not shot the ball well. Just 2 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3. Bounced around a bit. Iowa State as a freshman, then Vincennes, a Division III school as a sophomore, to get himself back and going again, and ended up at Bradley, and as you mentioned, has really just become, he's really blossomed.
Yeah.
As his 2 years at Bradley have really become beneficial to him. And the Jays have to use a timeout. Couldn't get the ball in with 1:07 to go in this second half.
30-second timeout for the Blue Jays.
Well, Antoine Young, of course, not seeing quite the workload tonight that he has been, although he's been on the floor a lot. I mean, it's going to end up being probably 34 minutes. He's been averaging 36 minutes a game this year, and we talked with Greg McDermott about the worries that there might be involved with that workload for Young.
I believe Antoine's one of those guys that can play all day, and I think he's proven that to both our coaching staff and our fans. And we've tried to be careful in limiting his reps in practice and making sure that he's not out there the equivalent of the percentage of time that he's out there in the game in practice. We've got to buy him some rest. And even though Antoine likes to be out there in practice and probably would prefer to do the reps himself, we've attempted to get him some rest in practice. We'll have an off day tomorrow where hopefully he can, he can catch up on a little rest. But he's been a workhorse for us and has done everything that we've asked him more.
He's done it tonight, and he'll do it against Missouri State, Northern Iowa, and everybody else on the schedule. The options are pretty limited.
Yeah, and a part of coaching is managing reps. And
5-second count. Good defense by Bradley on the inbound. And the Jays turn it over again. This has been a sloppy turnover second half. 15 turnovers on the game so far. 12 in the second half.
Right. And that's an area I've been surprised that teams haven't tried to do more of, is full court press this team, given the amount of minutes Antoine Young plays and given the fact that he is really the Creighton Blue Jays' only pure ball handler.
You'd think as the season goes along and as we go through the second half of Valley play, you'd see more teams start to do that once they really get invested in watching Coach McDermott's style with this team and how it works. Once they've scouted them once and come through again, you wonder if that won't be more prevalent in the second half of the season.
Yeah, the second game is always a lot more difficult because it's usually not a secret for what you do and what you do well, but it's definitely not a secret the second time around. And I think you're going to see a lot more pressure and a lot more full court pressing from teams in the second part of the conference season.
It looked like Lawson got hit across the bridge of the nose as he was going for that rebound. Well, that's about the last thing you want to see. He looks like he's okay, though. Hate to see anybody get hurt with 1 minute 1 second left in this ball game. That's been a dominant Creighton ball game.
Egolf just got his hand in there and it looked like it hit Lawson in the face. Taking a look at it. Yeah, his forearm and elbow area caught Lawson.
Update from that Northern Iowa-Wichita game. Northern Iowa with about 2 minutes to go, leading Wichita 68-64. If that happens, Wichita falls to 6-2. Then Missouri State and Indiana State are tied atop the league at 7-1. Jays would be 5-3, as would Northern Iowa going into their meeting next week. And then you're getting into that seeding discussion for the Valley Tournament. I know we're a month away,
right,
but you're talking 4 and 5 seed, a pretty pivotal spot there in that Missouri Valley Conference. And the Jays and Northern Iowa, you can't count Southern out of that mix, all right in there in that 4, 5, 6 area. And that's a big difference.
Well, not only is it important to be playing your best basketball come Arch Madness and going down to St. Louis, but seeding and matchups are so important when you get down there. So certainly that's something you got to keep an eye on even right now, how things are going to shape up.
Antoine Young misses the front end of the 1-and-1, so the Braves go back the other way. Down by 14. Lemon driving right past Corver to the basket. Shot is good, and he's fouled. The foul on Darrell Ashford. Corver was directing defensive traffic and never saw him go right by him.
That's where you got to get organized in transition. First thing you got to do is stop the basketball. Jays didn't do that, and Walt Lemon Jr. goes right to the hoop and gets the and one. Jays really limping to the finish line right now.
Lemon at the free throw line. Nails the free throw attempt, his first make at the line tonight as Egolf comes back in. Braves down just 11, not enough time, 50 seconds to go, but Jim Les has got to be pleased with the way his team has battled in this second half, a team that really has nothing to play for at this moment.
Yeah, it's something to build on. And, you know, we talked about Creighton not playing to the score. It goes both ways, where Bradley can't play to the score either. Just because you're down 20-some points doesn't mean you can not take care of the ball, not defend, because right now it's about getting better and trying to get to the point where you feel like you can win a game. And that's what Jim Les wants to see. And although he's frustrated and you never want to talk about moral victories, but he's going to feel good about Bradley's second half performance here and moving forward.
McDermott hits that first free throw, one more for McDermott. 16 points tonight, 10 rebounds.
It's another day at the office for the freshman.
17-10, his best game, 28-10 against Drake. He had an unbelievable performance against BYU, 20-12 in that game. He has just had so many good performances this year. It's hard to single all of them out. Lemon on the drive to the basket, and Lemon lays it in. And what a take by Walt Lemon Jr. to timeout called by the Blue Jays with 40.3 seconds to go. The crowd that remains, and granted there's not a lot left in the seats at this point, they're a little bit uncomfortable with what they've seen from the Jays down the stretch here, Nick.
They're in transition. Walt Lemon left-handed. Wayne Runnels forces him right, but doesn't force him away from the hoop. He can't allow a straight line drive, and then the Jays have really struggled to get the ball inbounds. You see that graphic right there.
26-point lead at 18:45 of the second half. They still led 71-45 with 10-12 to go, and since that point, Bradley's been on a 23-8 run to close this ball game. Now, again, nobody's suggesting Bradley's going to come back in 40 seconds and win this game, but Creighton's going to leave a game that they've dominated not feeling real good.
You just said it. I mean, you wanted this game to get you back on the winning track, feel good about yourself as you head to Springfield, Missouri this weekend, and now the final taste in your mouth is not going to be a great one.
And a foul immediately, and the crowd booing a little bit that the Braves are fouling here, but you can't blame Jim Les.
No,
this
not
team's
at all.
0-7 in the league, and he's thinking, well, you know what? Maybe they miss a bunch of free throws. We hit a few threes. Who knows?
And these are the moments where you can send a message to your team and saying that I'm not going to lay down and quit on you. You don't lay down and quit on me. We don't care what the score is, where we're at, or what the situation may be. We're going to play to win the game. And that's the type of message you got to send to a team who's looking for their first win in conference play. Certainly understand why the fans are booing, but I don't think it's warranted.
Darrell Ashford hits the first free throw. 80-68. Blue Jays still in control of this big ball game by 12. Just 39.7 seconds to go. Second free throw good. Ashford hits them both. Braves get it back. Trailing 81-68. Here's Warren again. Against Corver. The shot over Corver, a little strong. And the rebound to Kenny Lawson. And now Bradley, a little pressure applied. McDermott's now going to dribble it out. Bradley maybe ready to concede in this one. So the Jays took a giant lead at halftime of 25 points. They led by as much as 26 in the second half. Limped a bit to the finish, but the Jays are going to get out of here with a double-digit win to go to 13-7 and 5-3 in conference play.
Shot the ball well tonight, shared the ball. Antoine Young ran the show. Doug McDermott, another great game, and changing up the starting lineup, and it gave Josh Jones, a redshirt sophomore, a lot of confidence as he made a lot of long-range jump shots. A lot of good things happened tonight. Give you some confidence heading down to Springfield, Missouri on Saturday, but did not feel good about how the Jays finished this game. A lot of things to watch on film.
Creighton 81, Bradley 68. The Jays victorious tonight at Quest Center Omaha. More in a moment. Kevin Kugler, Nick Baugh from Quest Center, Omaha, where the Creighton Blue Jays moved to 13-7 on the year with an 81-68 win over the Bradley Braves. But that second half, a 44-32 advantage for Bradley, going to give Coach McDermott a couple of things to work on in practice.
Yeah, no doubt about it, but nevertheless, the Jays come away with the victory. 5 players in double figures for Creighton, 2 players each with 17 points. Doug McDermott and Gregory Echenike, 21 team assists on 27 made baskets. A lot of good things, but you said a lot of things you can work on in the film room tomorrow.
Hard not to like the combination of McDermott and Echenike up front for the Blue Jays, and with Josh Jones scoring into the lineup, perhaps a new addition to the Jays' offensive repertoire as they put up 81 on the board. Once again, our final score tonight, the Creighton Blue Jays 81, the Bradley Braves 68. For Nick Baugh and the entire NET Sports production crew, I'm Kevin Kugler. Good night from the Quest Center in Omaha, Nebraska.